beloveds. Tonight we're going to do a little candlelit message from your guides. So we all have guides, ancestors, benevolent beings watching over us from the other side. Oftentimes they don't intervene unless we ask for help. So doing readings or working with cards is a great way to connect with your guides and to receive messages from them. We are going to do a pick a card reading, so you're just going to choose which card or which crystal resonates the most. So if you'd like to, before you choose your card, you can take a moment to take a very profound breath, breathing in as slowly as you can, exhaling as deeply as you can, and ask that your guides, ancestors, benevolent beings, to please be present and guide us with clear and even insight that is of the heart. So you can choose which card resonates with you the most, and if you prefer to use crystals, we have pile number 1, we have a carnelian heart, number 2, pistachio opal, number 3, quartz heart, number 4, jade heart, or number 5, selenite heart. So go ahead and pause the video and choose which card resonates with you, and you can scroll down to the description or comment box below and find the timestamp link that correlates with your card. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, card number 1 with the carnelian heart. This is for you, a message from your guides. Wow, so right away what I'm seeing is you may have really kind of found a deeper sense of yourself. You may have found that any situation, environment, or relationships that you were in with others that wasn't really true to yourself, that it's time to kind of move on. It's time to let it go, and when you emotionally kind of leave that behind, you will kind of move to your next level vibrationally. So the more that you're true to yourself and what you really know to be true, who you are, what you believe in, your morals, your standards, your boundaries, the more that you'll be able to kind of emotionally mature. The other thing that we're seeing is this does have to do with your connections with other people, you as a social being. Especially in your relationships with other people, it's important to really honor who you are, and it's okay, not everyone has to like you. You know, a lot of times we feel a lot of pressure to be liked, and we want to be liked, and yes, that's a normal part of the human condition, but when you ask yourself, do you like every single person that you meet? You know, no, most likely not, and that's okay. We're very creative beings, you know, we're on this expansive earth with every possibility, with many, many different kinds of people, and not everybody has to be your cup of tea. That doesn't mean that, you know, you need to focus on not liking them or focus on hating them. It just means, you know, that they're not your preference. You know, what do you prefer? And so it's okay to not be liked. You know, if you are yourself and someone doesn't like you, because of you being who you really are, then that's okay. Let them fall away. Those that see you for your truth and for your beauty and for your honor will absolutely stick around. So you don't really need to worry about that. I do see there's a strong determination to be well liked, and it can be very disappointing or disheartening when you feel like you're not appreciated. And at times that can make you literally want to leave a situation. And again, you know, that's okay. That's okay. You are beautiful the way that you are. You don't need to change anything about yourself. You don't have to be anyone different for anyone. We are like chameleons in a sense, you know. You can think about if you go to work, you don't dress in the exact same way. You don't act the same exact way that you would if you were meeting up with your friends for dinner, and that's totally okay. We do kind of change like chameleons to kind of fit into our surroundings, but most of the time we really want to be resonating with our true belief system and who we really are. And so it's saying, it's okay not to be liked. Be who you are and charge forward, and you'll be victorious, and you'll be loved and appreciated for who you are. So let's see what else we have today. So let's see what the Ascended Masters have to say. Wow. Well, it looks very, very positive for you. Wow. We're seeing choose peace, the power of joy, and positive change. All of that looks so positive. It's like your guides want you to know that everything is going very, very well for you right now. And it's all about perspective, but there is so much opportunity for joy, and there's so much, love to be felt, and things are ongoingly moving forward for you in a positive direction. And it's like it's saying it's okay for things to be going right. Sometimes things have been going so well for so long, and we're like, well, something bad bound to happen. Life's such a roller coaster, but it's okay. It's okay for things to keep going well for you and to keep being good and moving in a positive direction. Choose that peaceful state. That looks, all in all, that just looks amazing energy for you there. So let's see what other messages we have for you. All right, so here we're seeing a message about your creativity. So it looks like some of your creativity is kind of locked up. And the more that you kind of tap into your joy, what makes you feel joy, what makes you, really thrive and feel that passion and that excitement inside of you, the more that won't be so restricted, So focusing on that solar plexus energy and really get that creativity moving, because it's saying that there's some restriction, and the restriction is coming from your mind. You are naturally a creative person. You were born to be creative. Sometimes people think creative only has to do with art or painting or drawing or sculpting. No, creativity is absolutely everywhere around us. We can create in food, we can create in gardening. There's endless ways to create, and you're a very, very creative person. And so don't let your mind kind of restrict that creativity. Sometimes we keep thinking and thinking about what we're going to do, and then we don't actually ever end up doing anything. So just start today. It doesn't matter, how big, how small, the outcome. Just start being creative today. One of the keys to life is to make sure that at least most days of the week you're doing something with your hands, not just writing, but something that you are molding clay, that you are playing in the dirt, that you are cooking, and whatever works for you, but just something with the hands, and that can kind of unlock that creative energy. Sometimes we just need a little bit of a jump start. The other message from your guides is saying your family, for some reason, can lead to exhaustion. In a good sense, we are seeing like the Holy Spirit is surrounding you and your family and protecting you, and there's a lot of light around it, and there's offerings and there's gifts, and again, that kind of peaceful energy that we saw before. But we're seeing exhaustion, so I would make sure that you are not giving too much of yourself. We choose our biological families for a reason. We choose our mother, we choose our father, but we don't choose to be with them forever, or else everyone in this day and age would be living with their mother and father and all of their siblings. We don't really live in that way anymore in modern times, and that's because we're not supposed to. You're with your family, and then you spread your wings and you fly, and then you kind of find others that resonate to the energy that you're choosing to be in this lifetime. When you're resonating to the kind of root chakra energy, you can be very, very associated to biologically where you come from. And as you rise up the chakra system, you begin to resonate and associate more with whatever energy that you choose, whatever energy that you prefer. So for some reason, I am seeing restriction, exhaustion around your family. So I would just make sure that you have really good boundaries. You know, that's the key to good relationships with our families, is having really good boundaries and sticking to them. There's a lot of families, I feel like in this day and age, that don't have good boundaries, you know, that it's common to just kind of walk all over each other, and that's not really healthy for anyone. And it's okay to say no. You know, you love your family, you want to support them, it's still okay to say no. Your family will love you no matter what. So it's okay to say no, and don't exhaust yourself. If you exhaust yourself and you know, overthink too much, you're not going to have time for you, for your creative energy, for your joy, the power of joy, the power of peace, the power of positive change. That's all very, very available to you if you can just kind of get through this energy. Okay? So now let's see what crystal comes up for you today. Ammonite. So from word to world, from word to world. So I'm really loving this imagery here. It's very reminiscent of the golden mean. You know, everything is very cyclical, and it's all very divine, and it's all very connected. But it's saying from word to world, from word to world. That's like saying you have a message to send out to the world. You are here for a reason. Of course, everyone is, but sometimes we come into a lifetime with a stronger message, with something very important that we need to kind of get out to everyone. In order to get this message out into the world, you really have to unlock this creativity that's kind of been bound up. The more that you unlock that, the more that you are going to spread this creativity. We're also seeing the number 40, so 4, which is interesting, family, you know, foundation. So from your foundation, your family, there has been set up challenges for you in order to overcome your own self-restriction, your own self-exhaustion, so that you can kind of rise up into this joyful energy where you can spread your word to the world. You know, the power of speech, the power of words is very, very powerful, and you have a message to share yourself. So that's important for you to remember. Okay, so the last thing we're going to look at is an archetype that you are resonating to at this time. What archetype are you resonating to at this time? Of course. What else would it be? It's the scribe. It's the scribe. Your message to the world. Write it down. Write it down. Start recording your thoughts. Your thoughts are creative. Your thoughts are special. Start recording them and writing them down. You are knowledgeable. You have a great wealth. I just feel like there's a fountain of knowledge and wisdom and experience inside of you, and it is just waiting to come out. Let it out. It's time to let it out. You know, people say, oh, I want to be a writer, but I just don't have time to ever, you know, write a book. That's something in the future. That's 10 years away. No, that's today. Start today. If you write 1 page a day, what does that look like 1 year from now? A book 2 years from now. A long book 3 years from now. A really, really long book. You have all the time in the world. It just takes a few minutes to write a page a day. It doesn't take long at all. Start now. This is very, very important. Your message from your guides: unlock your creativity, don't overwork yourself, and find time to write. You would be surprised at how much time we waste in our day. The average American actually wastes 6 hours of time a day. What wasting time? Wasting time isn't relaxing. Relaxing is very, very important. Wasting time is when we're spinning in our mind about what to do instead of actually doing it. So it's time for you to start spreading your joy, your light, your creativity, and it's time to start writing it down. All right, group number 1, I'm excited for your positive changes ahead. Love to you and your family. So be it. All right, group number 2, pistachio opal heart, which I just love. Pistachio opal, it's scrumptious. I love pistachio pudding, ice cream, all of that. And it just reminds me of food. So love that pistachio opal. Let's see what your message from your guides is tonight. Okay. So right off the bat, we're seeing the energy that's manifesting in your life. In you, it can be a very kind of professional energy, a very mental energy, kind of stoic, more centered in the mind, not so centered in your emotions. And this can also manifest in masculine energy outside of yourself. It's just very, very stern kind of energy. And we're seeing the energy of femininity, Venus relaxing, enjoying, your bounty, your abundance, your harvest, and finding balance and harmony in that, and finding contentment without having to rush, I think in your professional life, you can get really, really focused on yang energy, kind of creating and getting things done and mentally figuring it all out and making it work. And you can be very professional. Being professional, there can be something so beautiful about that. But also we want to make sure that we're in balance and taking time to relax. The more that we are in balance, the better our work will be, the better quality it will be without as much time spent or energy spent. So it's important to find balance. And when you do find balance, it's like you need to work through the energy of being content without things being 100%. Things don't need to be 100% all of the time. It's okay for things to just be good, 98%. 98% is great. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're not the only one. Many of us struggle with perfectionism, myself included. There's just this idea that things need to be absolutely perfect, and really they don't. The universe, the world, the earth was created perfect and imperfect. It's okay for things not to be perfectly put together. There can be some energy of wanting to kind of get things done, and it's like, I'm gonna act now, I'm gonna think about it later, I'm gonna kind of charge ahead without thinking about the long story. And the long story is you do need rest and rejuvenation. You do need to enjoy the fruits of your labor. If you work your whole life, and that's great if you get accolades, that's great if people think you're amazing, but you work to create this money and this bounty and this energy, and then you don't even enjoy it. When people are on their deathbed, they're not saying, oh, I'm so glad that I worked myself to the bone. They're saying, wow, those times spent with those that I love, doing things that I love, are very, very special and precious to me. And so I would flash forward, close your eyes and flash forward to the end of your life in this physical body. And what do you want to remember? What do you want to remember that you enjoyed? Was it staying up super late, working, being in your mental energy? Or was it finding balance and harmony where you're working and you're playing? And it's saying, basically, it's not too late to turn this in a different direction. It's never too late. I'm not saying go quit your job, but there's always little ways that you can find more balance, more moderation in the energy. But it's saying like anything can happen, you know, you don't have to stay in what you're in forever. You know, a lot of the previous generation was raised to think, you know, you choose a job, you go to school, you choose a job, and you stick with it until the day that you die. And the new generation that's coming in says that that's just not so. You know, we're so creative, we have so many different passions, you know, the life is so short, it's the blink of an eye. I love all of these different modalities. That's okay. You can switch jobs, you can still be successful at other jobs, you can still make money at other professions. You know, you don't have to just stick with one thing. It's okay at any moment to choose a different path. It's never too late. There's many people who do not find what their most joyful profession is until long after they're 50. You know, you're not too old, you're not too late to do what you really love. So that's an important message from your guides. All right, let's see what else your guides have to say. Okay, this isn't surprising what we're seeing. You know, we're talking about working. It's saying your guides are wanting you to rest and to celebrate and to spend time with your family. It's very important to take time for yourself. You know, the masculine energy says go, and the Western world, America, says go, work. We hold those on a pedestal that work 80 hours a week. That is not healthy. That doesn't last long. You can only do that for so long before you burn out and you crash to the ground. So it's not admirable. What's admirable is finding balance. And your guides want you to know, spend time with your family, rest, relax, and celebrate. Celebrate anything. You don't just have to get together with your family because it's someone's birthday. There is always room and reason for celebration any day of the week, any time, with anything, cookies, whatever brings you joy. Bring someone flowers for no reason and sit for tea or whatever you prefer to drink and just enjoy time spent with one another. That's a very important message for you. Spend time with those that you love. Okay, let's see what other messages we have here from your Ascended Masters. Ascended Masters, what messages do you have for group number 2 today? Oh, they listen and they intervene. They say, yes, you are seeing this situation accurately. Horus, you are seeing this exactly as you should be. And it's interesting, it's coming up now in the reading. You know, we're bringing all this to light, the need for rest and rejuvenation. They're saying you're seeing this accurately. And Ganesh, we're seeing little baby Ganesha saying yes, say yes to rest, say yes to fun, say yes to relaxation, say yes to doing absolutely nothing. There's no agenda needed, just say yes. The other energy we're seeing is yoga. Yoga could be very important for you right now. I am seeing, you know, purple. We're seeing the energy of the third eye and the crown, and it can be very beneficial for you to do yoga. That could help you kind of break through some of this. It's easy to say, oh, do this, do that. It's a lot harder to actually make changes in our life. And when we're stubborn, we're resisting, we're saying, no, I want to keep going the way things are, I don't want to change. If we can choose to just go to yoga or do a yoga video or do some sort of movement in our body, we choose to move, that moves the stagnant energy. So whatever, issues we're struggling to overcome, they naturally start to move when we move our bodies. So stretching and yoga could be very beneficial to you. Yeah, that all looks really good though. There's lots of kind of royal colors here. We're seeing the golds and the purples, and there's a very royal feeling. I wouldn't be surprised if you create, a lot of beauty in your surroundings. Okay, so now let's look at a crystal for you today. What crystal would be beneficial for you to work with? Tiger's eye. Wow. So I love tiger's eye. Tiger's eye, of course, can be used as protection. Around my little pet's collars, I put a little tiger's eye. It just makes me feel safe knowing that they're safe. I truly believe that it has the power for protection. And there's something very fierce about it. If you think about tiger energy, it's very, very fierce. This energy that is inside of you is very fierce and can absolutely kind of rise up. You don't have to stay forever in this kind of energy that's very mental. Although, being an intellectual is a gift, and it's amazing, and it's wonderful to figure things out in the mind, it's also just as wonderful to kind of move the energy up, all the way up to the crown, and move the energy down into the heart, and kind of split that energy from the mind into the crown, into the heart, and resonate in a more kind of balanced way. That fire that burns inside of you, that mental fire, it's like saying spread it out, spread it out. We're also seeing the number 13, very, very lucky fire. Again, I feel like it could be easy for you to accumulate gold. Okay, so now let's have one last card for today. What archetype are you resonating to right now? What archetype are you resonating to right now? So oh my gosh, this is too perfect, too perfect. I did see a card kind of flip over there, and that was the student, which I feel like you're very, very evolved and advanced at being successful in the world as we know it, the Western world as we know it, but you're a student at doing nothing and relaxing. And so that's kind of what you're working through. But the archetype that we got for you is the king. That's just too funny. We're seeing all this royal energy, and here we see the king. Enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. You could be kind of the CEO type, the president type, the manager type. There's others that are kind of working for you, and that can be a lot on your shoulders. It really can. And that can feel like a lot of pressure to kind of work around the clock. But when those who work for you see you spending time with your family, see you honoring your boundaries, you teach them to do the same. And it helps everyone involved, and everyone becomes, a better worker from that. But you are a very, very good leader, a caring leader. You care about those that follow you. Wow. King, royal energy. You've probably been royalty in your past life. It's kind of what it's all kind of been building up to. All right, group 2, I wish you the best on all of your journeys and passions and your unfoldment. So be it. All right, group number 3, this is for you. We have the quartz heart, and let's see what your messages from your guides are today. It's interesting, similar energy from group 2. Okay. So your message from your guides want you to know that you are very mature and very grounded, and that creates a lot of happiness in your family. You know, we all come from a lineage, you know, we have a karmic lineage, and we're kind of set on a path, and all of our ancestors have been working and working and working to get us where we are today, to get us to be born into the lifetime that we were born into. It took a lot of work on humanity in order to get to where we are. And so when one person kind of goes even further or kind of breaks the pattern, it helps everyone in the family. Okay, so if we have a family of alcoholics and for generations there's been substance abuse problems, and then one person in the family decides to stop, it's like a domino effect. Boom, 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 boom. Everyone starts to kind of change their vibration. It's basically saying, you know, your groundedness, your generosity, has created a lot of happiness in your lineage, a lot of joy, and I mean joy upon joy, excess joy. And it's because you woke up. You woke up to that. You woke up to choosing that life. You chose happiness. You chose generosity. You chose abundance. And you chose to really ground yourself and be a support system for your family in that way. And your family doesn't always have to mean, you know, your biological family. It can also mean just those that you're connected with. I also see, you know, very feminine, fertile mother energy, nurturing energy. So we're a mother in many different ways, you know, not just to biological children. We have lots of babies. Our work can be our baby. Our garden can be our baby. You know, our food can be our baby. Anything we can nurture and grow. And they're saying there's very kind of fertile mothering energy that's come from you waking up to your joy, waking up to your generosity. You know, focusing on the virtues is the key to manifestation. When you focus on, please, universe, send me an opportunity to give joy, to give to someone, rather than universe, send me things, send stuff for me, about focusing on the virtues. I do see that there's a little competition or defensive energy, you know, going back to your lineage and going back to your mother. Of course, you love your mother, you chose your mother for a reason. We all chose our mother, and she did the perfect job in creating who we chose to be. But there's some sort of energy of feeling like you have to defend yourself or compete, and it's coming from this mother energy. But we also see very positive celebration energy, reunion energy. You know, if you have not spoke to your mother in a very long time, and you just say no, and you're stubborn and you don't want to, and you stay guarded, it's time to have a reunion. It's time to reach out to your mother. It doesn't mean that you have to, you know, open up a whole can of worms, but if you've been thinking about it, it's okay to just reach out. You know, obviously when we're in relationships that aren't really working and we realize that it's not really working, that's okay to take space from people. Even, you know, our biological family, that's okay to take space. But know that people do change. They don't change overnight, but often in 5 years, 10 years, you know, because we're changing every moment, you know, ourselves and our bodies changing, you know, people do change, and there's nothing wrong with just, you know, checking in. I do see some sort of reunion, celebration, reuniting, but there's a little bit of struggle and guardedness around the mother. So let's see what else your guides have to say. So one other message about the mother is coming through. even if you don't know who your mother is, or even if your mother has died the physical body and is no longer with you, that does not mean that you cannot reach your mother. You can reach anyone that you'd like to simply by setting the intention. And when anything that we write down, we are writing onto the astral plane, and it can be seen on the other side. So if your relationship with your mother, you don't feel like reaching out in a physical sense, you can reach out in the in-between. You can get a rose, get a bundle of roses, a dozen roses, go to the river, fill them with love and forgiveness and whatever resonates with you, and send those roses down the river, and I promise you they will reach your mother. They will reach anyone that you're trying to reach. So you don't always have to make kind of physical contact. There's other ways to reach anyone that you want to send a message or that you love. The other energy we're seeing more mother energy. Interesting. So we are seeing divine mother, new life, life force, Aphrodite. There's definitely, if you've been interested in becoming a mother, or you want to be a mother, there's just very, very fertile energy. If you're not wanting to be a mother in that sense right now, this can be fertile energy to give birth to a masterpiece, to give birth to a work of art, whatever that may be, whatever you create. There's just a lot of creative energy, creative feminine energy. But your guides remind you that you don't want to, push yourself into exhaustion. When you have kind of new excitement, there's new life inside of you, and you feel this kind of stamina and this energy kind of pushing you forward, it can be easy not to take pause. So don't forget your roots. Don't forget where you've got to in this lifetime, that kind of groundedness and that balance and that joy. Stay in that, and don't exhaust yourself. It's almost like your guides, on the days where you just feel dead tired, it's the end of the day and you're just lying there like, I'm over it, I don't want to do a thing. It's like your guides are there saying, here we are, we're up in the stars, we're watching you, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. You've got to help you to help others. So don't forget to take care of yourself. Yes, that's a very strong message. Okay, let's see what your Ascended Masters have to say. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Same energy as, I think it was group number 1. Yoga would be very helpful for you right now. You're seeing this whole situation accurately. You're seeing this for what it is. And it's saying yes. Say yes. Say yes to that fertile kind of motherhood energy. Say yes to that creative growth inside of you. Say yes to that feminine energy that doesn't lead to exhaustion. It's like your guides are saying, don't forget to depend on us. Life is this stream, and it's flowing and it's flowing, and you can flow with the stream, and you can relax and kind of lie back and let it carry you and let your wisdom carry you, or you can fight the current. So don't fight the current, just kind of float with the stream, and yoga would be very beneficial to you. And yoga doesn't always have to mean, you need to sign up for a yoga class. It means you need to move your body and stretch your body. Stretching is the most important, and then comes strength. But those would be very beneficial to you right now. So let's now see what crystal comes up for you today. Amber. I have loved amber since I was a little girl. I had a little amber necklace. The thing about amber, you know, it's petrified. It has existed for so long, and a lot of times, you know, there's a little bug in there, a little being, and it's like they're frozen in time. But there's something very ancient. There's something very ancient about amber. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if you're an older soul. You know, you've learned a lot, and that's kind of how you got to where you are today. There's something ancient about you. We're seeing Goddess Freya. We're seeing untamed energy, the untamed, and I feel like that's in a very positive sense. You know, we're born with like a verve, you know, we're born with a fire inside of us, and we don't ever want to let that burn out. You know, we never want to kill anyone's spirit. And so, you know, be wild, be wild. We are conditioned since birth, you know, since we're very, very little to behave and be perfect. No, be wild. It's important for you to be wild. And then we're seeing 48, so 8, 9, so 12, and 1 and 2, 3. Again, 3, the number of creativity. So that looks very good. Okay, so for your last card, let's see what archetype you are resonating to today. Ooh, cool. We've got shapeshifter. So you may find that you have a gift for navigating through different levels of consciousness. When you look at a shaman, when you look at a shapeshifter, they're not actually changing their shape. They have the ability, oh, right then this candle went out. It's interesting, shapeshifter. They have the ability to change the way that others perceive them. Okay, so let's say you are out walking at night and you think you see a man, and then you turn and then you see a deer. It's not that he turned into a deer, it's that he was able to change your perception so that you saw a deer. So that's what a shapeshifter is. So you have the gift of being a shapeshifter. Another side of this gift is seeing potential in everything, you know, able to maneuver and kind of change with what's changing around you, able to adapt. It's very easy to adapt. In its shadow attribute, this can be projecting an image that serves your personal agenda, you know, manipulating a situation to kind of better suit your needs. You may have kind of mutable energy in your chart. It's okay. That's the way that you kind of came into this world. Just be very aware, be aware of when you are manipulating the energy and changing the energy, and just make sure that, you know, you're having good intentions. And even if you're not, just be watchful and be gentle with yourself. And all right, group 3. So all in all, I think that your message from your guides really focuses on your creativity, your creative kind of fertile energy, and what a gift it is, how much work you've done on yourself in order to become kind of grounded in who you are and to become generous. That brings so much joy in your life. Remember not to overwork yourself, and not to send yourself into exhaustion, and remember to say yes, and to trust your intuition. You know, anything that you're asking yourself you feel unsure about, you've got to trust yourself. And your shapeshifter, I mean, how much more amazing can that be? You know, the ability to change your reality. You're in total control of your reality, and you can change your reality to be anything that you want it to be. All right, well, I wish you the best on all of your journeys and all of your endeavors. So be it. All right, group 4 of the Jade Heart. This one is for you. Your message from your guides. Woo. Okay. Wow. Okay, so there's there's a little intense energy here. You know, nothing really bad, but it seems to be that you're going through some sort of catharsis. And that can feel like heartbreak. It can feel like mentally, when you think about something that happens, that it feels painful and you don't like it. But whatever it is catharsis, and it needs to happen. And catharsis is so, so important, and it means that you're growing. It's saying this catharsis is around something being made fair. That can mean that, you know, it's scary to kind of tell someone the truth about the way that you feel. You know, every secret will have its day in the sun. And sometimes secrets don't seem like secrets. You know, we think, oh, well, I'm not really hiding anything, but I'm just not telling someone how I really feel about a situation. You know, obviously, sometimes there's no reason, but if there's something bothering you and you're holding on to something, then of course you need to tell them. So we see some sort of catharsis around something need to be made fair. We see very slow moving energy, kind of slow, hard work. You may find yourself just kind of continuing to work on your goals kind of day by day, but feel like you're waiting. And this is interesting, waiting to work with other people, waiting for a new opportunity. It's not surprising to see this kind of energy in the pandemic, just because a lot of people are working from home. And though some people very much enjoy that, there's others, you know, more extroverted, that really, really would like to go back to work and to go back to that life. So we see slow moving work, slow moving energy, and waiting for the opportunity to creatively be with others. This can also be like waiting to show someone what you can do, waiting for an interview with a new job, you know, wanting to really show what you're made of and show what skills that you have to offer. But there also may be just a really strong desire to just work with other people in a creative way, in a creative process. But I do see you looking for, your guides are saying, you know, you're looking for some sort of new opportunity, new financial opportunity, new physical opportunity. So all in all, we see, you know, if we look at your work and this being about your work, you know, there may be something unfair about your work. We're not really seeing kind of unbalanced energy where maybe you're not being kind of paid for what you're doing, but there may be something slightly out of balance with the dynamics at work. There's something about work that may not be fair. And it causes you a lot of kind of turmoil in the mind. And work doesn't always mean like where you actually work. It can also mean whatever you're working on day to day. Okay, so let's see what else your guides have to say. Okay, so I do think that the message from your guides is, so far, it is very focused on what your service is to humanity, you know, what you came here to do. In terms of, you know, the catharsis and whatever needs to be made fair, it's saying follow your intuition. You know, you know, there's something inside of you that knows when something's not right or something needs to be fixed. There's a knowingness about you. And it is the energy of the inner child, okay? So children very much operate on their intuition, you know? Whatever they're feeling, they go for it, you know? They don't have any of that conditioning that makes them try to figure out kind of what to do. It's just, they just naturally do what they need to do. So it's like, follow your intuition. They are saying, you know, from your master teacher, be very disciplined at this time. You know, continue to put the work in, and it will lead to more opportunities. You know, the opportunities will come. I think that this has to do with the energy of be consistent. Being consistent is the most important part of our service. When you are consistent, it will eventually evolve into something. You know, things don't just happen overnight, you know. If you want to write a book, you have to every day work on it. And what does that grow into 5 years from now, 10 years from now? You want to be an artist, you know, you start drawing today. What does that look like as you go into the future? Be consistent. You know, sometimes we need to relax and sometimes we need to take breaks, but make the breaks short ones. You know, no one, if you look at a mother, right? Have you ever seen a mother that in her 9 months of pregnancy, at around month 4, she says, you know, I'm just going to take a month off? It doesn't work like that. You can't take a month off of your creativity. You can take, you know, a day to relax, but continue to work on whatever you're trying to build. So it's saying be very disciplined. The other thing is creativity. I feel like that's been a theme with everyone so far today, all the groups today. There's a real focus on creativity. Even if you find that your work, you're not able to be as creative as you'd like to be, there's always something honorable about whatever service you provide, you know. Especially with our society, we get kind of big ideas that everyone should be a CEO and everyone should be a rock star. And even those who literally, you know, gather trash, that's very, very admirable. Think of spiritually what they're doing. They are spiritually, ongoingly, every day purifying this world, picking up the energy that people have dispersed out. Think of how powerful that is, that if ongoingly you are purifying, because when you clean, you are purifying energy. So they're in the ongoing service of purification. So even if you're not doing something super creative, your service is valuable, your service is important. Do you have to do it forever? No. But until you know for sure what you want to do creatively, and until you choose to manifest that, it's okay to kind of honor where you're at. But you do seem to have a lot of creative energy that kind of wants to unfold. So if you're trying to kind of tap into that energy, just make sure that most days of your life that you are playing some sort of instrument, you know, singing, pick up the ukulele, whatever. You might say, I'm not a musician. Everybody's a musician. Every single human on this planet is a musician. And it's just about being creative. It's not about being Mozart. It's about having fun. And do something creative with your hands. You know, cooking, sculpture, painting, whatever works for you involved with the hands. All right, so let's see what messages come from your Ascended Masters. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. We are getting a message from your masters that it's very important to pay attention to your health. I'm not trying to, you know, scare you. There's nothing wrong. There's no need to kind of go to that place in our minds that we sometimes gravitate towards, you know, Googling illnesses and whatnot. No need to go there, but it is saying pay attention to your health and your healing. And we do see this energy over what needs to be fair. So anything that we don't take care of, it is like a little energy leak. So imagine if there's lots of things that we feel guilty about or lots of unfinished business, and it starts off just one little energy leak, but imagine if they're all over and there's just these holes of kind of vacuum, kind of negative energy. So it's very important to clear up anything that needs to be cleared up and pay attention to your own health and your own healing. And it's saying go now, start today, start now, focus on your health now. You know, make sure that you're drinking enough water, make sure that you're getting exercise, make sure that you're getting sunlight. Water, movement, and sunlight. Those are the keys to health and to happiness and prosperity. So really make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Make the extra effort to take care of yourself. It's also saying that you should work with crystals. Crystals can be very, very powerful and healing. And this is what crystals coming to mind is bloodstone. When you look at the body, what is running and coursing through our veins and processing everything? Blood. right? Bloodstone is called bloodstone for a reason. It's purification of the blood. So you could work with that crystal. If you get some kind of flat bloodstones, and you can put one in each palm and just set the intention to really purify the blood that's coursing through your veins. And that way, any kind of toxic energy that's coursing through can be purified. Kind of focus on some deep breathing. Okay, so that's interesting. Let's see what other crystal comes up for you. Master Helios, the sun, and citrine, okay? So it's very important for you to shine. It's very important. Sunlight is very important for you. I'm seeing sunlight, sunlight, sunlight. You really, really need sunlight. You know, in this day and age, we spend a lot of time indoors, and that does not serve us well. All we need is just a little bit of time spent out in the sun, and just imagine that on your back there's a battery pack, and like you need to charge yourself up. So when you have time, when you have a moment and you think about it, go outside, let that sun hit your back, and really breathe energy into each of your chakras. If you don't have time to do that, just take 3 deep breaths, but really focus on that sun kind of feeding your body. You know, we look at plants, we're like, wow, that's amazing. The sun helps plants to grow that we eat, but we forget that we need that nourishment of the sun too. We can't just get it from the food that we eat. We need to get it directly from the sun. It's very, very important for you to be in the sun. And we're seeing the number 33, 6, harmony. Harmony. You will find harmony in the sun. You will find harmony in your body and in your health from the sun. Okay, so now let's just, for one last card, let's see what archetype you are resonating to. What do your guides have to say? Storyteller. So only in recent times have we started to actually record stories. I know I say recent, and I mean, you know, hundreds of years, but we have existed for eons and eons and eons and millennia. And so it used to be word of mouth. And so storytelling used to be this very creative thing that kind of passed on and changed from person to person, who passed the message on, and there was something very creative about that, and it gave it life. Obviously, we can't go back now, and we have a lot of appreciation for written word and poetry and that sort of thing, but you have a gift of the storyteller, the ability to express and experience life through stories and symbols. So reading could be very important to you, but also for you to tell your own stories, whatever you've been through. Share that story. You know, you could do it through written form, but for you, I'm really feeling more to express through actually telling your story to your friends, telling your story on a stage. You know, you have the gift of seeing life in symbolism and kind of putting it together. It's like you can mix it all together and meld it into something beautiful to share. And there's something very creative about that. You know, in a shadow aspect, this can be, you know, making up stories. But when you're using it for its positive nature, for good, it can be something very, very beautiful, sharing stories. So in whatever way that speaks to you, you know, storytelling at a Barnes & Noble to children, or whatever, storyteller, that's one of your gifts at this time. All right, well, I wish you the best on all of your storytelling and manifesting your new opportunities and your new financial opportunities. Thank you so much for joining me today. So be it. All right, this is for you, group number 5. This is a message from your guides. We have this selenite heart, which selenite is like the soap of the spiritual world. It's just so cleansing and purifying. Let's see what your message is. We're going to need some spiritual soap after what you've been through. All right, so we're seeing some sacrifices. Your guides are showing me the energy of sacrifices, you know, maybe feeling like you just can't win, or feeling like no matter what, you know, in some situation you have to lose, that you're losing. If you feel like lost, like you're losing. And they're saying, you know, it's okay. It's okay, flow with what's happening. You know, every single thing that happens in your life is happening because your higher self is orchestrating it, and it is leading you on the path that you need to be on for your growth and your illumination. So there's even purpose in losing. You know, we can't win all the time, and every single thing takes sacrifice. You know, when I chose to have children, I sacrificed what could have been kind of a thriving art career, and that's okay. You know, I chose that, and I'm so happy with my choice. But everything takes sacrifice. We can't be everything to everyone all the time. But they do want you to know to flow with it. Don't fight against it. When we fight against it, it just takes longer, and it's harder and more difficult to go through. So instead, kind of flow with what's happening. They are showing me some energy of loss, you know, feeling like you're lost, like you've lost, you're in loss. You know, you could be feeling financial lack at this time, you know, focusing on what you don't have. But here's the good news. It's like you're getting through all of that, and you're headed for this energy of like giving love, like choosing to give love, choosing to offer love. And be very hopeful, and really expect that something very good can come from that. Even when you feel like you have nothing, even when you feel down and out, you feel like nothing has gone your way, choose love. Choose to offer love, and you'll be amazed at what can happen. And when you do, you'll move on from all that. You'll move on. This will all be in the past. Nothing is permanent. Everything is ever changing. Everything is moving and growing and evolving. And these losses, this feeling of loss, it will pass. It too shall pass, and you'll move on from it. You'll accept it. Whatever it is, you'll accept it for what it is, and be amazed at what good will come when this is cleared out and you make some new space for something good to come in. So it looks like things are headed in a positive direction. So let's see what else your guides have to say. Okay, so we're seeing Master Teacher is saying follow your purpose. Follow your purpose. Physical body, the energy of Gaia, and denial, divine helpers. So even though these times when you feel down and out and you feel lost, it's saying it's a part of your purpose. You know, some people come into a lifetime for rest, and they are born into seemingly perfect families in perfect suburbia, and everything is just peachy keen and rainbows and sunshine. And that's because that entity needed a lifetime of rest. Other entities come to this lifetime for a very wild ride, a crazy experience, and it just kind of catapults, you know. They're going through 5 lifetimes in one. You know, when you have difficult, challenging experiences and you persevere through that, you are literally cutting off lifetimes toward your enlightenment. You know, you're just moving forward even faster on your purpose. So follow your purpose. All of these experiences, though they were hard, will help you in the future. You will help other people because of them. They're making you who you are going to be and who you're destined to be. You know, I look back at some of the decisions I made when I was younger, and some of the things that that happened, and it seems crazy. And it's like, why would I have chose that life? Why would I chose to be born into that life? And now, in retrospect, I can see that's why I am who I am. That's why I can help people, because I've been through that. I've been to those dark places. And it's just all a part of the process. We are seeing a focus on, you know, your physical body and denial. So I think that the message from your guides is pay attention to your physical body and what it needs. Honor your body as a temple. You know, the way that we care for our body says so much about how we love ourselves and how we care for ourselves. And it's a way that we can either kind of raise ourselves up or we can keep ourselves down. So make sure that you're giving attention to your physical body, you know, making sure you're getting adequate rest, sleep. Sleep is so, so important. It's connecting you to the other side. It's connecting you to where you came from. Water, exercise, you know, eating healthy. Do what you know is right, and don't be in any sort of denial about your body, and what your body needs. I also see there's some energy. There's some energy. It's like something, your guides are up above you, and they're surrounded in light, and they're there watching you. But it's like you've got one eye covered, you know? Part of you knows, and part of you's watching and is wakeful, and the other part of you just wants to kind of ignore it. That's why they say ignorance is bliss, you know? Once you take the pill and you wake up, you really can't go back. Okay, so let's see what your Ascended Masters have to say. Wow. Wow. Okay, so we're seeing Buddha, Mother Mary, and Lady Nada. So it's very important for you to meditate at this time. You know, people think meditation is only when you're sitting, you know, cross-legged. Meditation is a way of life. It's a way of being, and it's when you are connected to your higher self. It's when you're coming back to yourself. Come back to yourself. Take the deepest, slowest breath that you can. Whenever you're feeling chaotic, or feeling like your energy's off, stop and realize the power of one profound breath. And that can bring you to a more meditative state. Also, actually, you know, meditating, sitting down in a sitting meditation can be helpful as well. Just 7 minutes a day. That's really all it takes to kind of get it started. And all you have to do is sit if you haven't meditated before. If you feel more comfortable, you can use a guided meditation with an app or something like that. But you really need absolutely nothing but just yourself and the ground to sit on. And sit. And you can have your palms either facing down on your knees or resting on your knees. And just focus on your breath going in and going out. And your body will say, oh, but I have an itch. Oh, my hip hurts. I have a bad hip. I can't sit that long. Yes, you can. Don't move. Don't move. Push yourself. You can do it to not move for 7 minutes and sit with yourself and try to just observe the thoughts just passing like clouds. And that can lead you into meditation. And when you feel like you can't or you don't want to, ask your guides. Ask your guides. They will absolutely step in to help you. The guides love to help with meditation, actually, because meditation really helps us in amazing ways. It helps, you know, our health and our mind. It helps us in all aspects of our life, and they want to help us meditate. So all I do is just set the intention, I'd like to go deeper, and I literally feel them take me deeper into meditation, and they will absolutely do that for you if you just ask. And that's how you can nurture yourself. We're seeing a connection with the energy of significant women in your life, mother, wife, sister, daughter, any of the significant women in your life. There's a real focus on that energy, the nurturing energy, the feminine energy. It's very important for you to be in feminine energy. Feminine energy says receive. Receive all that life has to offer. Receive the love that those around you have to give. Your guides have love to give you. Be open to receiving it. Be open to receiving love. It's a very strong message for you today. Okay, so let's see what crystal comes up for you today. Well, there it is. One card. Ah, just like one of the other groups, we have Amber. Again, the Untamed. I feel like all of you that have chosen this video tonight, we're just getting some kind of old souls kind of showing up. You know, Amber, again, it's petrified. There's life kind of frozen in it, and there's something very, very ancient about it, something very special in that way. And it's the energy of it's very strong. You know, it's the untamed energy. So for you as well, tap into that wild nature inside of yourself. You don't need to be, it's like saying you don't need to be just this stiff person that doesn't have fun, you know, that wouldn't do something totally crazy. Do something that might seem embarrassing. Think to yourself, what is the craziest thing that you could do that you'd be afraid of doing? You know, maybe it's showing up to work dressing like, you know, a butterfly, you know, just whatever it is. Make up something creative and be wild. Tap into your wild nature, you know, go out into the forest, go into the ocean, you know, scream, laugh, cry, let it all out of you. Let that wildness kind of come out of you. That's a message from your guides. The last thing we're going to look at is your archetype. Your archetype that you're resonating in today. So we went from storytellers in the last group. We have gossip. Okay, so in our society, we hear gossip and we think that's a bad thing. Gossip is not necessarily a bad thing. Can you imagine a world without gossip where no one talked to anyone? Can you imagine all of the secrets that wouldn't be brought to light? Gossip is it has its light attributes, it has its shadow attributes. So in its light, it's very awakening. It awakens you to the consideration of the feelings of other people, and you have a gift for honoring trust, you know, honoring trust in someone, confiding in someone, you know, sharing the way that you feel about some situation and really entrusting that into someone. And its shadow attributes, this can be, you know, gossiping for the sake of gossip, you know, not really doing it because it's something that needs to be expressed, but just talking about people for the sake of talking about them, or betraying confidences, you know, something that someone told you in confidence, sharing that information. So it's just very important for you at this time to really honor your word. If someone says, you know, can I trust you with this? I'm going to tell you this. Really honor that and don't share that information with anyone else. And, you know, the craziest thing is this can really apply to ourselves. We can literally gossip with ourselves, and we can really actually betray ourselves. So it's very important to trust yourself and to honor yourself. I'm going to see if there's anything else around this. If you ever find yourself talking about others, imagine how they would feel if they were sitting right there. And that's an important way to kind of create light around that energy. But it, you know, again, the gift of it is being aware of others' feelings. You know, even when you notice it happening, it makes you aware of others' feelings. So it's a gift in that way. Okay, so looking at all of this, it's follow your purpose. You know, pay attention to your physical body. There could be a lot of, once you open your heart to love and you choose love and you choose to offer love, that can lead to amazing things. Be very hopeful. Be hopeful that you can move on from the past, because you absolutely can. Take time to meditate. You know, be very hopeful around this, especially around the significant women in your life. Be hopeful around that kind of feminine energy. Okay. All right. It looks like things are headed in a very good direction. Now, there's going to be a lot of acceptance. And acceptance is one of the most amazing parts of the spiritual path. You know, you feel so much freedom. That then will come the wild, untamed energy when you find that freedom through acceptance. Okay. Thank you so much. Group number 5. I wish you the best. I send you so much love on any challenges that you're in. You can do it. You absolutely can. It's temporary. You'll make it through. And you're going to help someone on the other side. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it. All right, beloveds. Well, thank you for joining me for these messages from your guides. If you enjoyed your reading, go ahead and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And let me know in the comments any other questions that you may have or videos that you'd like me to create. I send you the best. Thank you.